Jai Mata Di. Welcome to this evening satsang. We are commencing with preliminaries, some dhyan mantras that will help us to focus on the various forms of Bhagwan, and then we are going to do Devi Puja. To start off, sprinkle water on yourselves and all the puja items around you. Om pavitraha pavitro va sarvavastangatopi va yah smaret pundarikaksham sa vahyapyantraha shuchihi. Sip water from the palm of your right hand 3 times, meditating on Bhagwan. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Then rinse your hands. Om Hrishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Put on a kus ring on the right hand ring finger. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavyo Saviturvaha Prasava Utpunamya Chidrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibhi Tasyate Pavitrapate Pavitraputasya Yat Kamaha Punetachekeyam. Using the thumb of the right hand, apply chandan to your forehead, starting at the top of your nose, moving upwards. Om Chandanam Vandyate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Harate Nityam Lakshmir Vasati Sarvadha. If you have not lit your house lamp, you may do so now. Om Bhodipa Tvam Brahma Rupa Andhakara Nivaraka Imam Maya Kritam Pudram Grihastejo Pravardhaya. Om Deepaya Namaha. Sprinkle water on your seat. Om Prithvi Tvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnu Nadhrita Tvanshadharya Man Devi Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. We are now going to do Swasti Vachan. We are reciting Ved mantras, appealing to Bhagwan for wonderful things. I trust that you will join in the recitation or listen carefully so that you, your family members, and your home may be blessed. To do this, take some flowers and white rice in the palms of your hand, of the right hand. Om Swastina Indro Vridashravah Swastinaha Pusha Vishwavedah Swastina Starakshorarishthanemi Swastino Vrihaspate Dadatu Om Payah Pritivyam Paya Oshadishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodah Paya Swatihi Pradishah Santo Mayam Om Vishnoratamasi Vishnoho Snaptresto Vishnoho Surasi Vishnordhruvasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavetva Om Agnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasavo Devata Rudra Devata Ditya Devata Maruto Devata Vishwe Deva Devata Vrihaspatir Devatindro Devata Varuno Devata Om Dyoho Shantirantariksha Gwang Shantihi Prithivi Shantirapah Shantiroshadayah Shantihi Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishvedevah Shantir Brahma Shantihi Sarvagwang Shantihi Shantireva Shantihi Sama Shantiredhi Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantana Suvasu Shantira Bhavatu. You may offer the flowers. You can take flowers again in your hand. We're now going to do Ganesh Dhyan. Meditate on Bhagwan Ganesh. Om Ganapati Gwang Havamahe Priyananta Priyapati Gwang Havamahe Nidhinanda Nidhipati Gwang Havamahe Vasomama Aham Jani Garbhadama Jasi Garbhadam Om Bhurvaswaha Ganapataye Namaha Om Ambe Ambike Ambalike Na Manayati Kasyana Sasasya Shvakaha Subhadrikam Kampilavasini Om Bhurvaswaha Ambikaye Namaha. Offer the flowers in front of the murtis of Ganesh Bhagwan and Mata Parvati. We are now going to do Kalash Dhyan, holding flowers in your hand. Once again, meditate on your Kalash that you have set up in your home. Om Devadanav Samvade Matyamane Mahuddadotpanno Sitada Kumbha Vidrithu Vishnuna Swayam Tvatoya Sarvatirtani Devaha Sarve Tvayi Stitaha त्वयि तिष्ठन्ति भूतानि त्वयि प्राणाः प्रतिष्ठिताः शिव स्वयं त्वमेवासि विष्णुस्त्वं च प्रजापतिः आदित्या वसवो रुद्रा विश्वदेवा सपैतृका त्वयि तिष्ठन्ति भूतानि यतः कामफलप्रदाः त्वत्प्रसादादिमं यज्ञं कर्तुमिहे जलोद्भव सानिध्यं कुरु मे देव प्रसन्नो भव सर्वदा बोलिए कलश वरुण भगवान की जय. Now offer those flowers on your kalash or in front of your kalash. Now take flowers again and meditate on the deities of the Navagraha, the heavenly bodies that surround us, including Bhagwan Surya, and pray that they are favorable to you and assist you to have a calm mind during this Navaratri at least. Om Brahma Murari Sri Purantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Buddhascha Guru Shashukrah Shani Rahu Ketava Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Samarchanam Maya Kritancha Gyatadboha Kshamadungrah Devataha अनेन पूजनेन श्री सूर्यादि नवग्रह मंडला देवताः प्रियंताम. बोलिए नवग्रह देवताओं की जय. बोलिए सूर्य नारायण भगवान की जय. Now you should focus your mind on Bhagwan Shiv. Once again, taking flowers in your hand, meditate on him. ओम ध्याये नित्यं सुरेयं यति गतिमतिदं योगकाधारमेकम् आद्यं तादि प्रभावं निगमजनि झूषां ध्यानधारवगम्यं सोमं सोधारमीशं धरणी सुरवर यञ्चया शङ्करं तं भक्त्युद्रेकाय वल्गं कल्यति विदुषां यत्कृपा तं हि शम्भुम्. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. We are now going to engage in puja to Mata Lakshmi. So take flowers again in your hand, put your hands together and meditate on her. Om Lakshmi Kshira Samudra Rajatanayam Shri Rangadhameshwarim दासीभूत समस्त देव वनितां लोकैक दीपान पुरां श्रीमन्मन्द कटाक्ष लब्ध विभव ब्रह्मेन्द्र गंगाधरां तां त्रैलोक्य कुटुंबिनीं सरसिजां वन्दे मुकुंद प्रियां. ओम यासा पद्मासनस्थः विपुल किरीटिः पद्मपत्रायताक्षीं गंभीरवर्तनाभिः स्तनभरनहमितः शुभ्रवस्त्रे वस्त्रोत्तरीया या लक्ष्मी दिव्यरूपमाणिक्यचित्तेः स्नापिता हेमः कुम्भेः सा नित्यं पद्मस्थः मम वस्तु गृहे सर्वमंगलयुक्ता ओम सर्वलोकस्य जननी शूलहस्तं त्रिलोचनां सर्वदेवमयीमीशाः दिव्यामाव्याम्यहम्. Offer flowers now at the feet of the Devi. Om Tapta Kanchana Varnabham Muktamani Virajitam Amalam Kamalam Divyam Asanam Pratigrihatam. Now offer water 4 times. Om Gangadi Tirtha Sambhutam Gandha Pushpakshater Yuktam Padhyam Dadamyaham Devi Grihanashu Namostute. Om Ashtagandham Samayuktam Swarna Patra Prapujitam Argyam Grihana Maddattam Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Sarvalokasya Ya Shaktir Brahma Vishnavadi Vihi Stuta Tadamyachmanam Tasyahe Mahakalye Manoharam. Om Mandakinyah Samanite Hemambhoruho Vasine Snanam Kurushva Deveshi Salaleischaha Sugandhibihi. Panchamrit. Om Panchamritam Samayuktam Jahanavi Salilam Shubham Grihana Vishwajanani Snanartam Bhaktavatsale. Water. ॐ गंगा सरस्वती रेवा पयोष्णी नर्मदा सज्जलेः स्नापितोऽसि मया देवी तथा शान्तिं कुरुष्व मे. Offer 2 pieces of cotton. ॐ दिव्याम्बरं नूतनां हि क्षोमं त्वति मनोहरं दीयमानं मया देवी गृहाण जगदम्बिके. ॐ कञ्चुः किमुपवस्त्रं च नानारत्नैः समन्वितं गृहाण त्वं मया दत्तं मङ्गले जगदीश्वरी. You may offer some naivedya or some prasad. Om Kapilaham Dadi Kundendum Dhavalam Madhu Sanyuktam Swarnapatra Stitam Chapi Madhu Parka Grihaname. Abhushan, some bangles, tikli, etc. Whatever you have adorned the murti with, you may touch that. Om Ratna Kankanar Kankanah Vaidhuryam Muktaharadikani cha Suprasannena Manasa Dattani Swikurushvaboho. Apply chandan to the forehead of the Mata. Om Shri Kandha Garuhu Karpura Mrganavihi Samanvitam Vilepanam Grihanashu Namostute Bhaktavatsale. You may now offer some white chandan or white color abir you can offer also. Om Rakta Chandanam Sammishram Parijata Samudbhavam Maya Dattam Grihanashu Chandanam Gandha Sanyutam. Sindur. Om Sinduram Raktavarnam Cha Sindhura Tilaka Priye Bhaktya Dattam Maya Devi Sindhuram Pratikrihatam. Kumkum. Om Kumkumam Kantidam Divyam Kumkumam Kamarupinam Akhanda Kama Sobhagyam Kumkumam Pratigrihatam. Abhir again, white color. Om Abhirang Chah Gugulam Chah Shova Chandanam Evacha Abhirenarchita Devi Yatah Shantim Prayachame. Flowers. Om Mandara Parijata Diti Om Mandhara Parijatadadinah Pataliha Ketaki Tatha Maruhu Vamogaram Chaiva Grihanashu Namostute. If you have a garland, you may touch the garland. Om Padma Shankar Japa Pushpahe Shatapatre Vichitritam Pushpamalam Prayachami Grihana Tvam Sureshwari. Offer grass. Om Vishnavadi Sarvadevanam Priyam Sarva Sushobhanam Shirasagarah Sambhute Durvasvi Kuru Sarvadham. Tulsi leaf. Om Tulsi Hema Rupam Cha Ratna Rupam Cha Manjarim Bhava Moksha Pradam Tubhyam Arpayami Hari Priyaha. Some fragrant oil, so you may offer perfume also or chandan. Om Telani cha Sugandhini Dravyani Vividhani cha Maya Dattani Lepartham Grihana Parameshwari. Agarbatti. Om Vanaspati Rasotpanno Gandhadyo Sumanoharaha Agraya Sarvadevanam Dhopoyam Pratigrihatam. Arti. Om Karpuravarti Sanyuktam Ghita Yuktam Manoharam Tamo Nasha Karam Deepam Grihana Parameshwari. If you have a bell, you may ring the bell and blow the sank as well. After that, rinse your hands and offer some prasad or a fruit or naivedya. Om Naivedyam Grihatam Devi Bhakshya Bhoja Samanvitam Shadaraseranvitam Divyam Lakshmi Devi Namostute. Water. Om Shitalam Nirmalam Toyam Karpurena Subhasitam Achmayatam Mama Jalam Prasida Tvam Maheshwari. Of a fruit. Om Palena Palitam Sarva Trilokyaham Characharam Tasmat Pala Pradhanena Purnahat Santu Manoratah. A pan supari set. Pan supari, a pinch of camphor, clove, and a coin. Om Elalavanga Karpura Naga Patradi Bhiryutam पुंगीफलं संयुक्तं ताम्बूलं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ॐ हिरण्यगर्भगर्भस्थं हेमबीजविभावसोः अनन्य पुण्यफलदमतः शान्तिं प्रयच्छ मे। Now do arti. Om Chakshurdhyam Sarvalokanam Timirasya Nivaranam Artikyam Kalpitam Bhaktya Grihana Parameshwari. Om Yanikani Cha Papani Brahmahatya Samani Cha Tani Tani Vinashyanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. Bolye Jagat Janani Lakshmi Mata Ki Jai. We are now going to have a bhajan. When we return from the bhajan, after the bhajan, we are going to be reciting from the Durga Saptashati from the 5th chapter, and later on thereafter we are going to do a discourse on the meaning of some of those verses that we're going to recite from the 5th chapter. We'll now have a bhajan.
शारदे मां अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। हे शारदे मां अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां। सीताराम। पवन सुत हनुमान, राधे कृष्ण की जय।
Jai Mata Di. Welcome back. We are going to now recite from chapter 5 of the Durga Saptashati, and we are going to be repeating certain verses. And the lines that we are going to repeat, or the parts of the verse that we're going to repeat, is Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, and then we will have a description of one of the qualities or manifestations of the Devi, and then you will end up by saying Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha. So most of the verse, except for one word, all of you will be able to recite with me. I hope that you can. But before we start the recitation, this 5th chapter requires meditation on the form of Maha Saraswati. And I am therefore going to read that Dhyan mantra before I read the stuti that I spoke to you about. And I need you, or I am appealing to you, to meditate on this Maha Saraswati, who is presiding over this 3rd Charitra. We are beginning the 3rd part of the Durga Saptashati today. And here she is being described as Maha Saraswati, who is displaying 8 arms, and various symbols are existing. Various things, items are seen in her hands, and these are the bell, the trident or the trishul, the shank, the mace, the discus, the bow, and arrows. In addition to this, there is a plow, and we'll talk more about the plow a little bit later on. And it is implied that she is whitish in complexion, signifying the sattva gun, or the wisdom, the maturity of wisdom and knowledge. So acquiring knowledge and wisdom also needs maturity. And this is the time when we should be using all our knowledge and putting it into the highest use. Because Mata Saraswati is displaying all these beautiful things and this higher consciousness or higher understanding, she is also then described as her beauty is being described as the shining moonlight, and it is most auspicious in nature. So if you can somehow use your mind to picture, give life to this Devi called Maha Saraswati, you should do that now and focus on her while I recite these verses. And where you can join in and recite with me, it will be wonderful. Kindly put your palms together and focus on her. Om Ghanta Shulahalani Shankamusule Chakram Danuhu Sayakam Hastabje Dadatim Ghananta Vilasat Cheetashu Tulya Prabham Gauri Deha Samudbhavam Trijagatam Adhara Bhutamaha Purva Matra Saraswati Manu Bhaje Shumbadi Detyardini Om Klim Rishruvacham Om Deva Uchuhu Om Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatang Namaha Namaha Prakrityai Bhadrayai Niyataha Pranataha Smatam Rudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauryai Dhatriyai Namo Namaha Jyotsnaye Chendri Rupinyai Sukayai Satatang Namaha Kalyanye Pranatam Vridyai Siddhyai Kurmo Namo Namaha Nairitye Bhubhritam Lakshmi Sharvanyai Te Namo Namaha Durgaye Durgaparaye Saraye Sarvakarinyai Katyai Tatev Krishnaye Dhumraye Satatang Namaha Ati Somyati Rudraye Natastasye Namo Namaha Namo Jagat Pratishtaye Devyai Krityai Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Vishnu Mayeti Shabdita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha या देवी सर्वभूतेषु षट्ण्यत्यभिधीयते नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु बुद्धिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु निद्रारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षुधारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु छायारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तृष्णारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु क्षान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु जातिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लज्जारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु श्रद्धारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु कान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु वृत्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु स्मृतिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दयारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु तुष्टिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु भ्रान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। इन्द्रियाणाम् अधिष्ठात्री भूतानां च किलोषया भूतेषु सततं तस्यै व्याप्ति देव्यै नमो नमः। क्षितिरूपेण या कृत्स्नमेतद्व्याप्य स्थिता जगत् नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। स्तुता सुरेर्पूर्वमभीष्ट संश्रया तथा सुरेन्द्रेण दिनेषु सेविता करोतु सा नः शुभहेतुरीश्वरी शुभानि भद्र्यान् विहन्तु चापदा। या साम्प्रतं चोदत दैत्यातापिते अस्माभिरीशा च सुरे नमस्यते। या च स्मृता तत्क्षणमेव हन्ति न सर्वापदो भक्तिविनाम्रमूर्तिभिः। ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाय विचे। बोलिए श्री लक्ष्मी माता की जय, श्री सरस्वती माता की जय, श्री दुर्गा माता की जय। We'll now have a bhajan. When we return, we are going to look at the meaning of these verses.
जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। तेरा पावन सुमिरन करता अंदर में सुख भर आता। तेरा अपने जरा दो माँ। जय दुर्गारानी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। मंगलता की देने वाली मनवांचित फल वरदाए। मंगलता की देने वाली मनवांचित फल वरदाए। द्वार तिहारी आते मैया कोई खाली नहीं जाए। जय ब्रह्माणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। राम भजन हम निश दिन करते मन में जपते नाम विमल। राम भजन हम निश दिन करते मन में जपते नाम विमल। शरण सहारो एक सहारा नैया तेरे चरण कमल। जय रानी जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय नारायणी जय जय दुर्गे जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। जय जय अम्बे नमो नमः। ओम सीताराम पवन सुता हनुमान राधे कृष्ण की जय।
Jai Mata Di. Welcome back. As promised, we are now going to look at the content of these verses that we have recited. So, this fifth chapter, as I explained, is the third descent. In other words, the third part, the third charitra, the third description of the exploits of the Divine Mother. Now let us look at, you would have heard in the recitation, and when other priests recite as well, you would have heard them using the word Kleem. So when I started reciting, I said, Om Kleem Rishirvacha. So as you are aware, we have a mantra called the Navarna mantra, which is Om Aim Hreem Kleem Chamundaye Viche. So Aim, Hreem, and Kleem can also refer to the three aspects that we describe Devi with, and the three gunas that we associate with. Now, Kleem is associated with Mother Saraswati, and it also is what we referred to as a Bij mantra. Bij mantra means almost like a seed mantra, the beginning mantra. And this Kleem is associated with pure bliss. Now, each of the charitra, the parts of this book that we are reciting, we are asked to understand and visualize the three different types of parts, the three different parts of the journey which we undertake as spiritual beings. So it is Mother Kali that we meditate on first, that is able to remove obstacles in our path and purify us. Then Hreem or Lakshmi represents the accumulation of the wealth of knowledge. And Kleem or Saraswati, the third part, means the blossoming of this knowledge into pure consciousness and association with God. So this is the journey we are supposed to take as we we make our journey through the verses of this great text. Now, this hymn that we recited, and this part, this, you must remember, this text is made up of kathas or descriptions about the Devi, and also praises about her that help us to understand her. In trying to understand her, we also learn to understand ourselves, our real purpose, and how we should organize ourselves so that we eventually become free of this material creation. So this stuti is called aparajita stuti. Aparajita stuti. So apar means something which is all powerful, cannot be conquered, and something that is incomparable. Therefore, this stuti actually describes the greatness of the Devi to the extent that you feel her inconceivable power. Because this is what is required. The Devi is not only known to us, she must be felt. Her presence must be felt. Her influence must be felt. And this is the greatness of this text, in that it is organized in this way that while we are enjoying the pastimes and her appearances, etc., it suddenly breaks out into a beautiful praise of her, so you can soak yourself into the energies that are present at that point in the text. Therefore, this Durga Shaptasati is, if I can use the term, is a text that is alive and kicking. It brings to life all these various thoughts, energies, and it then becomes an experience. So at the very beginning of this, she is being described as Vishnu Maya. Now let us look deeper into this word. We could easily say that Mata is the Mahamaya. But what do we understand by this? Mahamaya means the great potency of this Devi. Now let's look at how great she is. Why is she called Vishnu Maya? So in the Trinity that we understand in Sanatana Dharma, we have creation, sustenance, and dissolution. Our bodies also are created, they are sustained, and they dissolve. The entire universe, the exact same thing happens. Now, which aspect of the Supreme is in charge of maintenance and sustenance? Vishnu. Therefore, Vishnu Maya. Now, when you look at Bhagwan Vishnu means he's reclining on the Ananta Shesh. That means it almost seems as if Bhagwan is in Yoga Nidra. In other words, he is in a dormant state. He is resting, if I can call it that. Now, this Vishnu Maya is used, we relate her to Bhagwan Vishnu because the image that we get from this is that Bhagwan can keep this whole creation sustained, yet seemingly is engaged in cosmic slumber. He's resting. Why? How is it possible that God can sustain this universe and see to every little change in this universe, every little support of this universe in his form as Vishnu? He's only able to do that because of this great energy that he's able to wield. What is that energy called? Vishnu Maya. In other words, he has put her, he is using her to maintain this entire creation, and therefore he is able to relax. He does not even have to lift a finger. He is so relaxed that Mata Lakshmi is pressing his feet and he is in a reclining position. That shows us the greatness of this energy that emerges from the Lord. And therefore she is called Vishnu Maya. Then this Aparajita Stuti that we are talking about, because it is so incomparable and it is all powerful, it is able to create a link for us in the most precious thing that we desire. which is a link with God. And therefore, it is almost as if it is a bridge between us and God. If we understand the stuti carefully enough, and we are able to recite it beautifully and praise Bhagwan, then it is a gateway for us to something greater. So in the opening part of this stuti, this Mahadevi is also described as Shiva. Shiva. So Shiva can mean two things. We know that Bhagwan Shiv exists, and Shiva would mean his consciousness. But the word Shiva also means auspiciousness. And therefore, this Mata is all auspicious. If we want auspicious things in our life, then we must associate with the auspiciousness that comes from God, because that is the root of auspiciousness. Now, very often we want to see change in our lives, or we are complaining that we are not seeing change fast enough, auspicious, positive change. We are impatient, we want change. The way to bring about this auspicious change is to relate to the auspiciousness of God. And the word that is used to describe this is called Shiva. Another word to describe this graciousness, this auspiciousness, is Bhadra. Okay, that is also mentioned in our text. Now, every almost every verse that we read begins with Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. What does that mean? So once we start to understand these things, you will find that satsangs will become, and puja will become more interesting and attractive to you. We cannot look for excitement in our festivals that does not improve your spiritual position. So what is it that will improve your spiritual position? Understanding some of these verses at least, so that when it is being recited, you do not have the experience that I don't understand this and I feel nothing. You need to feel something, and to feel something, you need to understand it. Therefore, let us look at this carefully. What are we reading? Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu means salutations to that Devi. Salutations to that Devi. Then we have a descriptive word, for example, Matri, and then the very next word is Rupena. Rupena means who exists in the form of. And then all of these verses end with a praise that goes Namastasyai, Namastasyai, Namastasyai Namo Namaha 3 times. So Namastasyai, Namastasyai, Namastasyai Namo Namaha. That means salutations to you, salutations to you, salutations to you. So if I can put the whole thing into a sentence, every one of these lines are saying salutations to that Devi that exists in some form or the other. Now, what are the words that are changing in each verse? That is what we're going to look at now. So this world is made up of opposites, and we can't only believe that God is only one aspect of the pair of opposites, because then it means that God is not all-pervading. Therefore, some of these words may seem like something that is negative to you and I, but most certainly it is only there because God has made it possible and God is present. So in this verse we are reading, in the 10th verse we are reading, Rodraye Namo Nityaye Gaurye Dhatre Namo Namaha. So Rodra means fierce, something that is fierce. And this idea starts off in the Rig Veda. If you want to consider the Rig Veda to be one of the oldest texts, then this idea of Rudra or Rodra is very prevalent in the Rig Veda. And now we see that in these texts here, which are sometimes referred to as Puranic texts, And it's nice to understand the word Purana. Purana means, according to me, means eternal. Okay? And in these Puranic texts, we find that this idea of Rudra is personified. Personified means it takes a form and a name. And therefore, Bhagwan Shiv is referred to sometimes as Rudra. So Rudra, in this world, if you look at nature, sometimes nature is exceptionally pleasant and beautiful to us in the form of green hills, trees, flowers, blue skies, blue ocean, crystal clear rivers, etc. And that very same nature sometimes turns around and becomes Rudra when we see volcanoes, tornadoes, floods, tsunamis, earthquakes, Rudra. Both are Bhagwan, both the pleasant nature and the turbulent nature is God. We need to understand that if that is the nature of this universe, then we can expect our feelings and experiences in this world to be just as turbulent. In fact, I listened to a discourse and somebody asked a Swamini, Mataji, why is it that I am experiencing so much of trouble in this world? Every day I have a new problem. And she replied that you are experiencing all of this because you are alive, because only living things can experience this change. And therefore, you must be thankful for it because it confirms that you are alive. So this is quite a deep-rooted thought and something we must think about more. That because we are alive, we are able to experience all of these things. And every experience makes us stronger and prepares us for something greater. Mataji is also referred here to as Kalyani Pranatam Vrudyai Siddhyai Kurmu Namo Namaha. Let's look at the word Kalyani. Kalyani means, also has its origins in the Rig Veda, and it describes auspiciousness and feminine beauty. It also is linked to the one who nurtures the cow. And we know that where the cow is protected, nature is protected. Because if you protect a cow, it means you will protect the environment in which a cow will happily exist. This includes trees, greenery, unpolluted water, etc. We then go on now to see other words. Vriddhi rupena sanstita. What is the meaning of vriddhi? Vriddhi can mean growth and prosperity, and siddhi means completedness. All of these words are being used to describe the Devi. Interestingly enough, this hymn is written in the third speech. Third speech means it's almost not direct. We're not saying salutations to you, Mother. We're saying salutations to that Devi. Because we have placed her high up there, right up with our highest understanding of our Creator. Now, we go on to come across more words that describe her qualities, etc. And the first word that I'm going to focus on is Chetana. She is being described as Chetana. Chetana means consciousness. Consciousness means awareness, if I can put it simply. There are so many things that we observe and see in this world today. And some of the things we see every day, we take for granted. We see it, but we don't notice it. Now, it is Chetana that is able to make us aware. And one of the things that I am alluding to is the presence of God, the all-pervasiveness of God. We want to look for God in only certain places and in certain forms, yet God is all-pervading. So it is our consciousness that is present in us in the form of this Devi that enables us to feel the constant presence of God. But Chetana is something that must be developed. Not everybody's consciousness is the same. Not everybody's level of awareness is the same. So sometimes, if you watch people, you observe people praying, you will find that when a prayer is going on, some people will be looking around, fidgeting, maybe seemingly bored, and you'll find another person, within seconds of starting recitation, the person closes their eyes and is able to settle down so quickly and feel something beautiful. What is that? That is Chetana, that is awareness, that is consciousness. And consciousness is something that must be developed from our very, very inner self. Nobody can make you aware or ignite. Nobody can develop this consciousness within you. We may be able to ignite it or set it on, but you have to develop it. And consciousness comes with great thought and control of the mind. So today we are talking about something that is almost absolutely required in order for us to get salvation or to break free the shackles of bondage in this world. Now, of all the various methods that we can worship God in, whether it is through singing of bhajans, whether it is through puja part, whether it is through structured dancing in ecstasy, etc., all of these things can be quite meaningless if there's no consciousness. If you are singing, for example, the names of Bhagwan, but you can't focus on him, you can't create a link with him and feel his presence while you are singing, the experience is not the same. And the same thing applies to a well-trained dancer. You will notice that a well-trained dancer, in other words, a person who has studied Bharatanatyam, for example, every single move of their body is part of a awareness because it means something. So they don't swing their bodies around in any way. It is structured. Why? Because there's awareness of what each sign means, each movement means, and there is a focus on something else. See? So this great consciousness is something that everybody must develop. It is easy to say I am a spiritual person. What does spiritual mean? Spiritual means constant awareness, not certain moments of awareness. Okay? I'm going to go on to the next word, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Sanstitha. Does buddhi mean intelligence? And if so, what is the meaning of intelligence? So salutations to that Devi that resides in all beings in the form of intelligence. But buddhi is one instrument of intelligence. It goes greater than just normal cleverness or cunningness, if I can call it that, or academic knowledge. It is discernment. It is the ability to think at the highest possible faculty. So to take your mind to the highest possible level, and it is able to reveal the divine to you. So the mind can teach you how to make money. The mind can teach you how to live in this world. But the buddhi, the supreme intellect, is able to reveal the divine to you, to reveal God to you. See, there's a difference. So this buddhi that is able to do this is being praised as the divine mother. So there's buddhi in all of us. In some of us, the buddhi is in a slumber state. It is not awake because we are not trying to be thinking at the highest level. Now, even the Upanishads, the Katha Upanishad, talks about this buddhi, and it says that the buddhi is a vision that a person has when he is able to see something that all others who are standing next to him cannot see. So it may be visible to all of them, externally visible, but that which is subtle, they can't understand. And this seems to be the biggest challenge that we have as human beings. We always want tangible proof. If we tell you God pervades everything, somebody will ask us, show me. Yet the pervasiveness of God is not something that is meant to be seen with the mundane eye. The pervasiveness of God is meant to be experienced with the inner eye, the eye of wisdom, the eye of perception. See? So this text that we are reading, from what I am telling you, what I am presenting to you, it means that this Durga Shaptasati is a highly, highly philosophical text and goes way beyond the mundane descriptions that may be given here. So this mother, this divine energy that we're talking of, most certainly pervades you and I like she pervades the body of Bhagwan Vishnu. And if she is able to influence him and make him all powerful, then surely she can do exactly the same to us. The next word that I'm going to focus on is Chaya. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Chaya Rupena Sanstitha. Chaya can mean shadow, shade, or even reflection. Now, why would somebody want to see their reflection, or why should we give prominence to reflection? Because reflection helps us to see our form, our shape. When you look into the mirror, you can decide whether you're looking neat or untidy. When you look at your reflection in water, you are able to see your shape, isn't it? So this reflection means that we should be able to actually reflect on our lives, ourselves. Nobody should have to point out to us that change is required. We should be able to see it ourselves. We should be able to put these things right ourselves. This is called reflection. And this reflection is able to bring us change in our lives. Okay? So Chaya can also mean a blocking of pure consciousness. This Maha Maya is mysterious to those that do not observe disciplines and seek her favor. She can become a dark cloud. She can make your life, she can make us almost blind to the realities of this world. Yet the very person who is seeking her, worshipping her, aware of her presence, that person will see the truth of this world. And therefore she is referred to as Mahamaya, and she is also referred to as Yogamaya. When we are able to reflect, then we are able to see the truth. We are able to understand our own behavior. Therefore, this idea of Chaya or reflection is required and is a beautiful thing. The next word is O Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstitha. Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Shakti. Shakti means power, ability, strength, energy. The word Shakti in Sanskrit can be used in many contexts, but in all of these contexts, there are some similarities. Shakti or energy can be kinetic. Kinetic means has the ability to do great things, but is still not doing the great things. The Navaratri helps us to activate kinetic energy, to put energy into motion. The energy of motion must be put into motion. Things that we thought we're not capable of doing, we are doing it in the Navaratri. How is it possible? It means that there is hidden ability in all of us, and when you make the right kind of effort, you will achieve great things. How do you do that? You need to understand that there is a Shakti. there is a power, that same energy that Bhagwan creates this universe with, that same energy is sustaining this universe, and you and I are part of this universe, and therefore that same energy is sustaining you. When energy is present, we are able to see that which shines. What is it that shines? Light. So Shakti, this energy, is able to light up our existence. And light means knowledge. With knowledge, we are able to shine and excel in this world. The next word is Trishna. Trishna is thirst. Now, thirst is related to water. Sometimes we can drink many things, but we won't quench our thirst. It is water that quenches our thirst. And water, according to our scriptures, is actually a manifestation of this very Devi. She is able to quench this great thirst that we have. What is this great thirst? Our desires. She's able to quench it. So I didn't say she'll come and satisfy all your desires, because that's not the idea. Satisfaction of all the desires are temporary. Desires cannot be fully satisfied. But when they are quenched, it brings it to an end. So if I like eating sweet things, I have a desire for a hunger or a thirst for sweet things. And if I eat a sweet right now, that sweet may make me happy for a while. In an hour's time, I'll feel for another sweet. What did it do? That sweet merely satisfied my desire for a short while. It did not quench the desire. But Mataji, Krishna, is able to quench these desires. Without quenching the desires, we're going nowhere. We're stuck in this world. We'll keep being born here as long as we have a craving for something or a desire for something. Okay? And very often we are unable to get rid of these cravings, these desires ourselves. It is Mother who is present, and she is the one who can quench this. The next word that I'm going to focus on is Kshanti. Kshanti, starting with a K, Kshanti. Kshanti means forgiveness and patience. Patience is something that we all must develop. Impatience causes us problems. There are certain things that are meant to happen in our lives at a certain time. And we must therefore be aware that we must wait for that time. We can't rush things along that are not meant to be rushed. There are certain roads that must be traveled. And there's a purpose of traveling those roads. It will make us stronger and develop us better for the greater journey. Therefore, patience requires endurance. In trying to be patient, we are often showered with various kinds of challenges. The human body was made to endure. We need to understand that, and we need to be brave, courageous in enduring all that has been given to us. Like I said earlier on, you are alive. That is why you are experiencing. If you are not experiencing all of this, it means that you are not alive. The next word that I'm going to focus on is Jati. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Jati Rupena Sanstitha. Jati means genus. It can also mean species or class to which each thing belongs. Now, there's something that is beautiful about this world, is that while some of us are alike in many ways, we are also extremely different in many ways. We all come from the same seed, which is Bhagwan, yet we look differently, we speak differently, we walk differently. The different species of life also appear differently. This is called jati. Now, jati is also wonderful because you have a human body, and it is in human body that you are able to gain salvation. If it was not for the presence of the Devi, you would not be embodied in this human body. Human body is described as a mandir or a chariot, a great chariot in which the soul is riding on. Without it, you will not be able to get moksha. And yet when you get moksha, you don't need it anymore. This is the greatness of jati. God has sent us as Homo sapiens. In Sanskrit, we say manushya, human beings. We are able to stand up on two legs. We are able to use our fingers and thumbs. Why? Because we belong to this jati. And then within this human jati, there are also different classes of men. We are equal in many ways, yet we are unequal in many ways. And you can determine which part of your genus, which part of your jati you belong to. Are you in the higher parts? Are you in the higher levels? Or are you in the lower levels? All of this variety is available to us based on our past actions and based on what we want to achieve. Therefore, this jati can also mean a certain level of independence. God has not made us as rigid as a stone and thrown us down to earth. He has made it possible for us to evolve, grow, and transcend. Therefore, we are in the highest rung of the species of life that God has created. Yet so many of us are not taking advantage of this great thing that is called jati. The next word is shraddha, which is faith. Now, faith does not mean blind belief or blind faith. It means guided faith. Faith that is developed through knowledge is wonderful. Blind faith can also benefit you, but not to the same level as guided faith, knowledgeable faith. Now, why is faith required? Because God has given us certain tools in the Vedas and the other texts. Let us call this equipment. And he said, take this equipment, even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan says that to us, take this equipment and this is what you must do with it. If you worship it, you have faith in it, shraddha, then that equipment will give you the kind of fruits you require in your existence. So one of the equipment that he gave us is the devas. He says you must worship the devas. Not exclusively of him, but worship the devas, and they will bless you with all the kinds of things that you have. Should we cut them out? Are they middlemen? No. God has put them there, and he says, give them their dues. Give them their dues, and they will give you that which you desire. But how should you do this? He says, shraddha, faith. You should do this with faith. Now that faith that exists within you is also this Devi. The message that I am getting from all of this is that without the Devi's presence, in all these various ways that I've described to you, without her presence, we can't exist. We can't do anything. We actually become quite helpless without her presence. Now, why did the Devas sing the stuti to the Devi, this aparajita stuti? Why did they sing it to her? Because we read at the beginning of this chapter that there were two demons called Shumba and Nishumba. And what did they do? They took over the jurisdiction of the Devas. And I just mentioned to you about the Devas just now. And they then decided that this great energy, this great mother, must come and restore the order of the universe. Okay, I think the word that is used to describe that is riti. Riti means order, to put things back in the right order. Now, if you look at a car engine, for example, and we take the car engine and we dismantle it, and when we're putting it all back together, we mix all the parts up. That engine will not work. It will crash. It will crack. It will break. It will fail. And what will happen? The car will not be able to move. In fact, the engine may actually implode. Now, the universe is just like that. God has created this world and He has created an order of things, and they all fit in together like this. Now, when all of those things are disturbed, what will happen? The universe will be in a state of distress, almost like state capture, if I can call it that. Now, in order to reset the order of the world, the Devas and the Rishis of Munis then decided to sing this Aparajita Stuti, to call the Devi, to attract her. And it is said that after praising her in many ways like this, she then appeared. And in the 83rd verse, it says that while the Devas were praising her, Parvati came to bathe in the waters of the Ganga. And from her body, Ambika came forth. From her body, another Mata came forth that is referred to as Ambika. And she says that she is praised in the world as Kaushiki. And she then went and stationed herself on the Himalaya. Okay? And then Chand and Mund, the messengers of the Shumba and Nishumba, saw her and thought that she was the most, they actually stated that she was the most beautiful thing that existed in the world. And in this way, she attracted the attention of Shumba and Nishumba and eventually enticed them into battle. So the message that we get here, dear brothers and sisters, is that any challenge that we experience in the world, the Devi Mata is able to assist us. But we have to please her first. That is the nature of this world. You need to show your gratitude. And the Aparajita Stuti is a wonderful way to show the gratitude to the mother. We cannot be taking only from this world. Anybody that gives us anything, any being that is able to help us, including God, deserves our thanks, our praise, and our salutations. This is the message that we are getting here. To conclude today's discourse, I just want to tell you that if you go to the Chandi Devi temple in Haridwar, what I told you is written on the wall. It is believed that the Rishis and Munis were on top of Chandi Devi, on top of the mountain, and this is where they were worshipping the Devi and praising her. And when you look down from Chandi Devi, you will see the beautiful Ganga flowing at Haridwar. And that is where the Mata Parvati appeared, and from her body Ambika came out and took this gigantic form and went and sat on the Himalayas, stationed herself there and prepared herself for battle. So all of these are beautiful, beautiful kathas. I've seen some commentators say that these are mythological stories. Depending on your mindset, your temperament, etc., you may believe that or you may not believe that she actually appears, and these are not just fables. Okay? But I read something to you just now that there's a part of Devi that is within you that is called Shraddha, faith. When the world becomes overpowered, it is only the divine that can assist us. While we make effort, it is the divine that can assist us. And I have no doubt in my mind that based on the compassionate nature of the Divine Mother, when she is worshipped adequately enough, she will relieve her devotees of all their problems. With these words, we conclude this evening's discourse. We will now have Durga Chalisa, and then we will have Aarti, and Visarjan. Jai Mata Di.
मातु लक्ष्मी करो कृपा, करो हृदय में वास, मनोकामना सिद्ध करे, पूर्ण हो मेरी आस। यही मोर आदास, हाथ जोड़ विनती करूं, सब विधि करो सुहास। जय जननी जगदम्बिका, सिंधु सुता में सुमिरो तो, ज्ञान बुद्धि विद्या दो ही, तुम समान नहीं कोई उपकारी, सब विधि पूर्ववास जय जय जगत जननी जगदम्बा, सबकी ही तुम हो अवलंबा, तुम ही हो सब घट घट वास, विनती यही हमारी खास। जग जननी जय सिंधु कुमारी, दीनन की तुम हो हितकारी, विनवानतिया तुम्ही महारानी, कृपा करो जग जननी भवानी। कह विधि स्तुति करो तिहारी, शुद्धि लीजे अपराध बिसारी, कृपादिस्तु चित्तो मन ओरी, जग जननी विनती सुन मोरी। ज्ञान बुद्धि जय सुख की दाता, संकट हरो हमारी माता, क्षीर सिंधु जब विष्णु मतायो, 14 रत्न सिंधु में पायो। चौदह रत्न में तुम सुख राशि, सेवा कियो प्रभु बनदासी, जब जब जन्म जहाँ प्रभु लीना, रूप बदलता है सब कीना। स्वयं विष्णु जब नर्तन धारा, लीनो अवधपुरी अवतारा, तुम तब प्रगट जनकपुर माई, सेवा की हृदय पुलकाई। अपनाया तो ही अंतर्यामी, विश्व विदित त्रिभुवन के स्वामी, तुम सम प्रबल शक्ति नहीं आनी, कहाँ तक महिमा कहो बखानी। मन कर्म वचन करे सेवा की, मन इच्छित वंचित फल पावे, चली फल कपट और चतुराई, तुझही विविध भंती मन लाई। और हाल में कहूँ बुझाए, जो ये बात करे मन आई, ता आवे। पुत्रहीन और संपत्तिहीन, अंध बधिर कोढ़ी अति दीना। विप्र बोले कई पाठ करावे, शंका दिल में कभी ना लावे। पाठ करावे दिन चालीसा, पर कृपा करे गौरी सा। सुख संपत्ति बहुत सी पावे, कमी नहीं करहु की आवे। 12 मास करे जो पूजा, तेहि सम धन्य और नहीं पूजा। प्रतिदिन पाठ करे मन माही, मन सम कोई जग में कहु नाही। बहुविध क्या मैं करूं बधाई, सूर्य चंद्रमा ध्यावत नारद ऋषि गाता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। दुर्गा रूप निरंजन सुख संपत्ति दाता। मैया सुख संपत्ति दाता। जो कोई तुमको ध्यावत, जो कोई तुमको ध्यावत, रिद्धि सिद्धि धन पाता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। तुम पताल निवासिनी, तू ही शुभदाता। मैया तू ही शुभदाता। कर्म प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी, कर्म प्रभाव प्रकाशिनी, भवनिधि से त्राता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। जिस घर में तुम रहते सब सद्गुण आता। मैया सब सद्गुण आता। सब संभव हो जाता, सब संभव हो जाता। मन नहीं घबराता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। तुम जना होने वास्ते न कोई पाता। मैया वास्ते न कोई पाता। खान पान का वैभव, खान पान का वैभव, सब तुमसे आता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। शुभ गुण सुंदर मुक्ति शील निधि जाता। मैया शील निधि जाता। रत्न चतुर्दश तुम दिन, रत्न चतुर्दश तुम दिन, कोई नहीं पाता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। महालक्ष्मी की आरती जो कोई नर गाता। मैया जो कोई नर गाता। पुर आनंद हो मंगे, पुर आनंद हो मंगे, पाप उतर जाता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। मैया जय लक्ष्मी माता। तुमको निश दिन सेवत, तुमको निश दिन सेवत, फिर विष्णु विधाता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता। ओम जय लक्ष्मी माता।
कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णोः मङ्गलं गरुडध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरि सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ओम यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। You may take some flowers in your hands so that you can conclude. Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu Sarvesham Shantirбhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukhabhag Bhavet Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadacchyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Bow down. Om Aparada Sahasrani Kriyante Nishamaya Dasoyamiti Mamatva Kshamaswa Parameshwara Avahanan na janami Visarjanam Pujan Cheva na janami Kshamaswa Parameshwara Anyata Sharanam Nasti Tvameva Sharanam Mama Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Rakshatvam Parameshwara. बोलिए विघ्नहर्ता गणेश भगवान की जय। जगत जननी पार्वती माता की जय। शिव शंकर भगवान की जय। सीता रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। लक्ष्मण जी की जय। महावीर स्वामी बजरंग बली की जय। श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय। श्री बाल कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गंगा यमुना सरयू सरस्वती मैया की जय। श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। सबको जय श्री राम जय माता दी।